Hey boys and girls, today we are going to read the book Who Makes the Rules by Gail Skroback Hennessy. And this book is part of our series that we're using for social studies called Primary Source Readers. Who makes the rules? Open up to the title page. Who makes the rules? And this is a nonfiction book, and a lot of nonfiction books have a table of contents to tell you where to find information that you're looking for. On one side of the table of contents, you will find the chapter titles, and on the other side of the table of contents, it'll tell you what page you can find those chapter titles on. So, what are rules? Starts on page 4. Rules at home starts on page 6. Rules at school starts on page 8. Community rules starts on page 12. Country rules starts on page 16. Guess it starts on page 20. The glossary starts on page 22. And the glossary is where you can find definitions to words that you might not know. They're vocabulary words, and it tells you what they mean in the glossary. The index is on page 23, and the index tells you where you can find certain words within the book. And this says your turn, page 24. I'm curious to see what your turn is. Maybe it's some questions that we have to answer about the book. So now we're opening up to page 4, and the title is What Are Rules? Do not run in the hallway. Raise your hand in class to answer a question. These may be rules you've heard. Rules tell what you may or may not do. Rules protect people and help them work together. And on this page you can see a picture, and it's an actual picture of kids. Looks like they're running in the hallway. And underneath the picture is a caption. And the caption says, "These students are breaking a rule. They are running in school." So you're going to see diagrams, you're going to see pictures, you're going to see illustrations, you're going to see captions in nonfiction books explaining what things are. And this is a caption, it's explaining this picture. Here's another picture, and it looks like a list of class rules that someone made. Class rules: be respectful, be safe, raise your hand, follow directions, do your best. And the caption says, "This is a list of classroom rules." Page 6, rules at home. Your parents make the rules at home. If you do not follow the rules, there are consequences. And this, you're going to see in a lot of books, in parentheses, tells you how to sound out the word. Consequences. So it tells you how to sound out this word consequences or results. This is how you learn to make good choices. And here's a chart of family rules. Be a good listener. Be nice to each other. Clean up your mess. Have fun. And then each member of the family signed the rules. And here's a caption. This is a family's list of rules. And over here we have a little guy. Looks like he's not very happy. He looks kind of sad. And this says time out. A time out is a consequence. Kids take a short break. They think about how to make better choices. And this caption says this boy is in timeout. So he's sitting on the bench and he looks really sad because he's on a timeout. Rules at school. Teachers make classroom rules. Walk in a straight line. Raise your hand to speak. Principals make school rules. Be respectful. And here's the sound out part. Respectful. Be responsible. Responsible. Be ready to learn. Be safe with your actions. And here's a picture of some kids standing in line in front of their teacher. These students are standing in a straight line, so they are following the rules. Mrs. Gonzalez's safety rules. These students are holding their teacher's rules. There are many adults at school who enforce the rules. They make sure the rules are followed. When you do not follow the rules, there are consequences. Your teacher may write a letter to your parents. You may miss recess. And you can see their chart right here. Green with the smiley face is level 1. That's a great day. Yellow with just a straight line mouth. Level 2, that's an okay day. And here's red with a sad face, level 3, not a good day. And the caption on page 10 says, some charts have colors. The colors help you see if you are following the rules. Move your pin. Here's a clip chart, and each student's name is on the clothespin, and they clip up or down depending on how their behavior is that day. Move your pin. Some teachers use special charts in their classrooms. When students break a rule, they have to move their name down. They can move up for following the rules. I like this behavior chart. Community rules. So the title right here for this chapter is Community Rules. Communities have rules too. Communities are places where people live and work. Communities that are big have city councils that make rules. The city council is chosen by people in the community. And this looks like a picture of a community council. Looks like it's from a while ago. And the caption says, this is a city council from 1942. Page 13, to protect and serve. Police officers enforce the rules in a community. They make sure people make good choices and are safe. This policeman is teaching bike safety. Some communities are small. They have town meetings. At town meetings, people talk about things they need. They talk about rules and how to enforce them. This is a town meeting long ago. So it's a drawing because they didn't have cameras that long ago, but you can see that the people in the town are having a meeting. This is a town meeting today. So here's people in a town. It looks like they're holding the microphone up so she can speak. Country rules. The Constitution is a list of rules for our country. It is more than 200 years old. Rules can be added or changed. They are called amendments. Amendments. So here's a girl, looks like she's looking at the Constitution. It is in the Smithsonian Institute, which is a museum in Washington, D.C. A girl looks at the Constitution in Washington, D.C. Changes. The Constitution has been changed 27 times. There are 27 amendments. So here's a picture of the Constitution, the United States Constitution. That's what the caption says. Our country has rules. They are called laws. Congress writes the laws. The president approves the laws. Judges decide who has broken the laws. Everyone works together. Rules and laws keep our country fair and safe. So this is a picture of Congress And you can see all the people in the room. And the caption says, "This is Congress. This is a judge." This page is called Guess It. Think about a rule at your school. Does the rule protect people? Does it help them work together? Work with a small group to act out a rule. Present your rule to your class and see if your class can guess the rule. And this caption says, "These kids are writing a school rule." So they're going to write a rule for their school. I wonder what rule you might write. If you were going to make a new rule for your school, what would it be? These kids eat in the lunchroom. They do not eat in class. And this rule says no food in class. So a student wrote that on a card. And this is the glossary. And the glossary gives you a list of vocabulary words that you may have seen in your book or that you have seen in your book. The first word says communities, places where groups of people live and work together. Congress, that's a group of people who make the laws for the United States. Consequences, results. Enforce, to make sure people follow the rules. Laws, a set of rules made by a government. Respectful, showing that you feel someone or something is important. Responsible, you're able to be trusted to do what is right. And rules, things that tell what you may or may not do. And on page 23 is the index, and this tells you where you can find these words in the book. So if you're looking for the word amendments, that's on page 16 and 17 in the book. Judges is on page 18 and 19 in the book. City councils is on page 12. Laws on page 18. Congress on page 18. President on page 18. Consequences is on page 6 through 7 and page 10. Teachers, pages 8 through 11. And Constitution on pages 16 and 17. So the index tells you where you would find those words in your book. Your turn. Good job. When kids in this class follow the rules, they get to move their names up. Talk with a friend about what happens when you follow the rules. Do you get a reward? Is your teacher happy? I know I'm happy when my kids follow the rules. All right, boys and girls. Thank you for reading with me, and I hope you always follow the rules at home and at school and in your community.